No, so my name's Scott. I'm the general manager of Beach Club. I believe I've met most of you. Just a quick reminder, we have about a 4.5-hour meeting. It'll take a little while. If you have to take breaks, that's okay. In all seriousness, please do turn off your phone, silence them. If you do have to take a call, we just ask that you step out of the room. With that being said, Cheryl, would you like to call the meeting to order? Great. And with that, we'll stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I. Thank you. At this time, we'd like to note proof of notice of the annual meeting. You've probably seen a number of notices. The first one, December 28th, was either sent in the mail to you or via email. The second one, February 1st, was posted in the breezeway as well as sent to you via email or mail. So there is proof of notice. Second, we would like to verify that there is a quorum. We do have a quorum. And just an announcement that voting for the 10 proxies will close at 4:15. If you have to vote, there are forms right outside the door. I think Tina's out there right now to complete those. At 4:15, I will interrupt the meeting and just let you know that voting has been closed. With that, we would like to move forward to the President's report.
Okay, thank you. I'm Cheryl Lilla, president of the QCA for any of you I haven't met. I want to extend my thanks to my fellow board members here. Their dedication and commitment in fulfilling our fiduciary responsibilities really is second to none. They're all professional, they all step in, the work is equally shared, and I'm really proud to serve with them. I'd also like to thank our general manager and our wonderful FSR team. There's continued noticeable improvements realized in our property appearance and processes. 2021, every year is busy, but 2021 was really an exceptional year in terms of what was achieved at the QCA, and I'd like to go over some of those things. First of all, we did realize net income in 2021 of $24,000. Our operating cash position and reserve funds continue to strengthen. We achieved over $1 million in food and beverage revenue at the Beach Club despite being closed several times for COVID, so that's a significant accomplishment. Jerry Solomon, our treasurer, will go into detail on the financial results as well as the challenges we face in 2022. Our project, well underway, the Quarry Tomorrow and Beyond, it was approved by Quarry homeowners at the annual owners meeting in 2021. And John Strike, and he's the Master Steering Committee chairperson. He will be providing a detailed update at today's meeting. I'd like to give a special shout out to John, if you'd please stand, and the entire Master Planning Steering Committees. All of you who are involved in that, please stand. Betsy, Pam, please stand, all of you that are involved. Thank you so much for all of your work. Then Scott Garvin was hired as our general manager of the QCA back in January of 2021. Scott is a seasoned professional with over 25 years of club management experience. He was the GM at Naples National and other prestigious clubs in New York and Wisconsin. He's received awards in creative culinary operations, and he has experience managing over $146 million in major renovation projects throughout his career. Scott is a certified captain in the U.S. Coast Guard. He has many accreditations, including he's a CCE, a certified chief executive. He's a CCM, a certified club manager, a CAM, and he's a member of the Florida chapter of the Club Managers Association of America. So Scott has been a great addition to our community. He's made life much better for our residents and for our board in terms of the work we have to do each and every day. So it was a great decision, and we're so glad to have him. I'd also like to recognize our standing advisory committees. They're an integral part of the successful HOA. Many thanks to the homeowners who participate in advisory committees. Our current standing committees are the Access Control, the Eco-Friendly, Finance, Governing Documents, and Official Records, a Hearing Committee, Insurance, Lakes, Modifications, and Recreation. The committee membership for 2022 will be finalized by the end of February. So any of you who are here today that serve on any of those committees, please stand. You deserve a lot of recognition for certainly helping out all of us in our community. Thank you very much. I forgot landscaping? Oh, I'm sorry, I was told that I forgot landscaping. Did I forget anything else? Okay. Yeah. Okay, and so the committee membership for 2022 will be finalized by the end of February. An announcement will go out by the end of the month. The President's Council, we have monthly meetings among the presidents of the condo associations. Ironstone, Bruce Perrick is the president of Ironstone. Nautica Landing is Tony Lepori. Quartz Cove is Gay Siegel. And Silverstone is Virginia Woodhouse. And the QCA president, myself, and our general manager meet once a month with them in season to ensure that we have good two-way communications occurring between the condo associations and the homeowner associations. So I see Gay here. I'm not sure Tony's here. Any of the other presidents that are here of the condo associations, please stand. Thank you very much for all of your work. The Corey Community Development District Board, really want to send a big thanks to the CDD board that we have in our community, led by Chairman Stan Omlin. I believe they're in a contractors meeting right now on this pond erosion repair project. But the CDD board, thank them for their tenacity in pursuing the FEMA reimbursement, which resulted in an approximate $4.5 million settlement to the Corey community. We have much to be thankful for our CDD board. They've just done an outstanding job. The land swap between the QCA and the CDD is nearing completion, pending approval from Collier County, which we expect in the next few weeks. We had to actually trade some land parcels in order to complete our project. When the civil engineering was done, it was found that some of our project was actually on land owned by the CDD. If you could see the lines that were drawn for what the CDD owns and what the QCA owns, especially as you get close to the beach, it doesn't make any sense. It just goes in and out all over the place. So we had to go through a big legal effort, and that's with Collier County approval in the next few weeks. The Heritage Bay Umbrella Association, which is the HBUA, we have 3 Corey members and 2 Heritage Bay members, and that committee is led by Corey resident Laura Severance. Laura, are you here? No, okay. And they oversee the stormwater management systems are working properly, and they meet annually to share their best practices. So I want to thank all of them for their work. We've been working collaboratively with the Corey Golf Club, and it has resulted in the successful land maintenance agreement between the Corey Golf Club and the QCA. Bob Radens, the general manager of the Corey Golf Club, just notified Scott and I that it was approved yesterday at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. So this was a huge effort. It probably was going on for at least a year and a half, and I'm very appreciative, our whole board is, of all the work by the parties involved in solidifying the agreement. It's very complex the way things were divided up here by the developer, and we now have a document that memorializes who owns what and who's responsible for the maintenance of the various parcels of land in our Corey community. So when we're all gone and the community still keeps going on, you'll have that document to refer to for the people who are here long into the future. Limestone Trail, a significant accomplishment in 2021. As many of you know, we spent 3 years petitioning to keep our private road private, and we were finally successful in February of 2021. The Board of Collier County Commissioners voted unanimously in favor of the road remaining private and the ability for us to limit access to the residents of Heritage Bay and the quarry to use that road. To my knowledge, Heritage Bay has not come forward yet to accept transponders for Limestone Trail. They've got some other issues they're working with on the county, and so at the time they're ready to accept that, we have a process in place where we would issue transponders, but that's only for Limestone Trail, not for our quarry community access. We do have Siesta Bay that connects the two communities, and the two communities are free to use that road, so Heritage Bay residents can come into the quarry and exit our gates, but they can't have access into our gates, and that's the way we want to keep our private community as private as can be. The support by homeowners in that effort over the 3 years, and especially as we got down to the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners, was tremendous. I want to thank all of you for your letter writing. It was a successful campaign, and coming to the meeting, which was in the heart of COVID, that people were still able to call in and voice their concerns, and statewide that road should have remained private. So I want to really thank my two board members, Joe Boudreau and Pete Ketty. They were the leaders of that effort, and once that finally got through the approval, then Scott became involved to take it forward to get the gates on Limestone Trail, which finally became operational in October of 2021. So many thanks to Pete and Joe, and for Scott in getting the project to the finish line. The Pulte-Centex litigation, for any of you who are fairly new to the community, we filed a lawsuit in May of 2017, and after 4 years, the litigation was settled favorably in June of 2021. It was a long haul, 3 mediation sessions, depositions, and we finally were successful, and we have received proceeds from Pulte-Centex and the other subcontractor defendants to allow the QCA to remediate the defects identified in the litigation, including but not limited to the bridge fascia, the boat ramp, the landscaping, sidewalks, gutters. The work has been completed already on the sidewalks and gutters, and some of the landscaping improvements have been made. The boat ramp repair, we finally got the design and bid in. That will begin to be worked on in May and June timeframe. The bridge fascia repairs hopefully will be completed this summer. I believe Scott has bids from 3 different contractors, and the landscaping committee, along with Scott, are working on a shade tree replacement plan that's still being developed. So the litigation was really heavily defended. It was complicated by the amount of time that had passed from when the community was first built, and then we filed the lawsuit in May of 17, and then 4 months later in September, Hurricane Irma hit. So of course, They wanted to blame everything on Hurricane Irma. Unfortunately, we had the third-party reports that substantiated all of the defects prior to Hurricane Irma. So long haul, but again, a significant accomplishment achieved in 2021.
Excuse me, Cheryl.
Yes,
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, voting will be closed.
thank you, Scott. On the landscaping accomplishments, I'm not going to go through, if you could go to the next slide. We have many landscaping accomplishments that were achieved in 2021, and I hope many of you have noticed them and are pleased with what's been done under the leadership of Renee Mangiovi on our board, who's the board liaison to the Landscaping Committee. You can read this list. I just want to hit a few of the high points. These presentations will be included in an email that goes out tomorrow, so you can go through it in more detail. But certainly, we have 2 enhanced bench areas on Weathered Stone that look very, very nice. The front gate bed enhancements and the front sign painting and cleanup and lighting. The comments from the community is you would pass at night and not even know you passed a community. It was not lit up, and it looks so much better, and I hope everyone has had a chance to see that and realize how much better it looks. Along with the Limestone Trail gates, a lot of gate rock croppings and enhanced landscaping took place to limit walk-in access to our community. We also had a huge GIS irrigation mapping system map that was completed. It's a huge accomplishment. It shows all the electric valves, the controllers, the filters, the hose bibs, the pumps, the spray zones. Our entire irrigation system is now mapped out, along with the street signs and community signs, hydrants, light poles, monuments, modern day practices and turf care have been, this was an effort led by a landscaping consultant that we hired, and he was instrumental in helping us out to get this end product, and he continues to help get our practices for turf care and our plant species for our unique soil composition and ideas for our future. So a lot of good things that were accomplished. Next slide, please. The landscaping accomplishments that are in process, we have a landscaping betterment plan for our beach club project. We have irrigation pump, lightning protection. Was that finally completed? Yes, yesterday. So we hopefully now won't have so many lightning strikes that affect our irrigation pumps. We're doing monument refreshes throughout the community. The monuments are, where it says the Shallows or Quartz Cove, or, all those monuments that identify the different areas of the quarry. When it was under Centex, they had one basically for every street, but then when Pulte came in, they changed it a little differently. So there's just big areas that are part of monument sections, but those monuments are being cleaned up and new plantings going in. West Quarry Drive median is going through enhancements. We also have a comprehensive proposal for community shade tree replenishment, a professionally prepared comprehensive landscaping RFP via the landscape consultant that I just talked about. And we acquired equipment to begin beach sand reclamation project. Previously, the QCA would spend $12,000 a year or more on sand on the beach, only to have it get washed away in the rainy season. Now we have the equipment to reclaim it, and I hope everyone has noticed already how much better under Scott's leadership the sand on the beach is looking and has looked for over the past year. The payback for the equipment that we purchased is 2 years. So the results will be noticed, especially in 2022 and continuing forward. Other accomplishments, newsworthy items, the access control. Joe Boudreau and Scott worked very aggressively to look at back gate enhancements and planting of Clusia hedge with all the development that kind of surprised us so quickly as it started occurring down Collier Boulevard North and will continue. We felt vulnerable. We had a security specialist do a study of our vulnerable points in the community, and our back gate was one of those. We do want to also close off better the front gate, but we switched the funds from the front gate to the back gate based on all the development that's occurring back there. But front gate enhancements will be occurring as well. The quarry received a Waste Reduction Award Program recognition from Collier County that was just received recently for the efforts led by our eco-friendly committee. I want to thank them for all their work as well. The Modifications Committee processed 268 applications in 2021. And I think they're currently averaging about 35 applications a month right now. Jody is the board liaison to that committee. It's a very, very busy committee, and I want to thank everyone who participates on that committee, making sure that our community aesthetics continue to be improved. So thank you to all of you. The new logo was developed, and our logo, our terms, our marks, that's all kind of legal terms, are being copyrighted. Our attorney has advised us that we're better served getting all those things copyrighted, even though there are provisions in our governing documents that say they're protected. He advised we really should get them copyrighted, so we're in the process of doing that. Despite the COVID challenges, Tina was able to plan, and along with our F&B team, 233 lifestyle events were held in 2021, despite the challenges of COVID and occasional shutdowns. So thank you very much to Tina Raymond. She just does one heck of a job in coming up with all those. She amazes me with her creativity. My brain doesn't work like that. And she's got something for everyone. If anyone says they're bored here, I don't get it. Last year we had 96 home condo sales in 2021. That's just, wow. That's over, 10% turnover of homes. 18 were quarry shuffles, where a person moved from one quarry home to another. But 78 new homeowners were welcomed to the quarry. So if any of you are part of that 78, we wish to welcome you and hope you're enjoying our community. So in summary, the next chart, please. 2021 was a great year for the quarry, despite the COVID challenges. 2022 is off to some significant challenges that we're facing between inflation, supply chain, contractor and material availability, and Jerry and John will be going through that in their presentations. I just want to say a big thank you to all who make the quarry one of the best communities in Naples. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. At this point, we'll welcome Jerry. We'll have the financial report.
Thanks, Scott, and welcome everyone. First off, I'd like to thank you, Cheryl. You don't know how lucky we are to have a president like we have in Cheryl. Not only is she a great president, she's a great leader of this board and a tremendous advocate for the community. So let's give her a round of applause. How many years have you served now? And if anybody ever needs information about the quarry, she's a walking encyclopedia. Truly knows everything that's happened here. So thanks again. Okay, don't get me going there. Let's go through the treasurer's report. Some of it will be a little bit repetitious. There's overlap between Cheryl's report and my report. As Cheryl said, net income is $24,000. Technically, it's net income before depreciation. We don't report depreciation. And there'll be a full audit report from our outside accounting firm, probably in a couple of months, if anyone wants to see that. And numbers can be quite different, because the way you account for a homeowners association versus what you do for filing taxes, et cetera, is different. But this is the way we do it. This is the way all homeowner associations do it. They exclude depreciation. Instead, we fund a reserve fund. As Cheryl mentioned, we've had special assessment accounts for both Pulte litigation and Limestone Trail, and we've been keeping track of that for years now. So it's more than welcome to see them disappear and simplify things. The Tomorrow and Beyond project, as many of you know, and people that are new here, on February 24th, we had, I think it was 74% of the people voted for the project, and at that time we locked in the financing at 3.49% for a loan that goes out 15 years. When you look back now, we're very fortunate to have done that. I think you all know what's going on with interest rates. If we did it today, it would be 1 point higher, which is $1.5 million more over the life of the loan. So glad we did that. We just renegotiated the property management contract with FSR to save about $30,000 a year. And we basically eliminated credit card fees going forward, so the people that use the food and beverage take advantage of that. Those fees will not be borne by the entire community. They'll just be borne by the people that use the credit cards. We think that's a fair way to do that. One of the things in terms of getting to that profit number of 24,000, a big thank you to Scott and his staff. They watch the funds very closely. Not only do we have to get multiple bids for everything, but they're out there looking for the best value, the best price, everything put together. And so thank you to Scott, and thank you to the staff. Okay, we have, as Cheryl mentioned, the reserve account. We crossed the $1 million threshold in terms of how much we have there. Again, we put aside money every year for maintenance and replacement of existing assets. And eventually that account will grow to over $3 million. So you'll see more on that in the slide further on. We improve our cash position slightly. It's very tough to improve your cash position when you're a nonprofit and don't make money. So we've had some profits in the last few years that improves our cash position because we were not where we needed to be, so we're in a stronger position. Our bad debts, delinquencies, when we went out to banks to get a loan, one of the first things they asked for is, let's see your delinquencies. And when they looked at our record, they said it's about one of the best we've seen. So thank you to everyone. It's less than 0.25% a year, which is terrific. Okay, next slide. We've told you a lot of good things so far, but in fairness, we also face a lot of challenges in the coming year. As you all well know, because personally, everyone sees this every day, especially when you go to the supermarket. All our employees, we face a very tight market. When we have an open position, Scott has to look far and wide to get someone, and it's always at a higher rate and sometimes significantly more than we're currently paying. So that's where we are. It's no different for us than anywhere else across this country. It's real. Access control fees, basically you're paying for people, and so it comes down to wages as well. And they are existing contractor. I believe Joe came in with a contract, and this is all after the budget was prepared, about $50,000 higher. And fortunately, Scott and Joe came up with an alternative to overcome that to some degree. Our insurance, we were advised early in the year when we were preparing budgets that it should go up about 10%. Instead, it went up about 50%. So it went from $110,000 this past year to it's going to be just about approach $165,000 in 2022. Again, one of the things that enter that is property values. We all know what's happening to our property values. It's no different with our property values. That, and we have some claims people don't realize behind the scenes, but there are claims, some minor, some major, that happen every year, so they look at our experience record. They're pretty much closed now, so hopefully things will get better, but it's a very, very tight insurance market, and we're paying the price. So that's insurance, landscaping. Again, what is landscaping? But mostly labor, so that affects us. Food, beverage costs. No need to explain, that's going up, and we were notified by FPL that I think depending on where we are, where we use the most energy, day, evening type, that's going up between 12 and 20% this year, then it'll level off. So those are the things we didn't know going into the budget. But the good news is Scott and his team, we know now they have 11 to 12 months to overcome these, and I'm confident they will. Right, Scott? There's one thing I didn't mention because that's still in process. That's shoreline remediation repairs for single-family homes. What does that mean? Right now, the CDD has a project, a restoration project for the 30 ponds. We have a lot of lake erosion going on in the 30 ponds. And we have I think it's about 50 homes that abut some of these ponds that have experienced this erosion. Now, the CDD is responsible for a certain amount of land into the easement, but then there's from that easement to connect to the home for their runoff. And it's going to be about 50 homes that have to be repaired. And I wish I could tell you what the cost was going to be. It could be $500 a home, it could be $1,000 a home. So we don't know exactly how many homes, we don't know exactly when it'll be done, and we don't know exactly how much it's going to cost per home. But it will get done, and when I say we don't know when it'll get done, is they're doing a major $2 million restoration project with funds that we got from FEMA over the next, I believe it's 2 years. They're actually meeting on it right now. And what they want to do is do it efficiently. So if they're working on a pond when it's a low water level and some of those homes abut that pond, they'll do it. It depends on how low the water gets and for how long will determine how many homes get done this year. And so we're working very closely with the CDD and with the golf course to make that happen. But that will be an expense that'll come up over the next 2 years. So a lot of things going on, but despite that, I want to assure you that the QCA is in a very strong financial position, and nothing major to worry about. We will manage it. Okay, so getting specifics in terms of the financial results, I always present 4 slides. How we did this year versus budget, and how we did this year versus last year. So when you compare the budget, it's comparing to what we thought would happen. When you compare to last year, it's comparing to what really did happen. That's why I present both. So when you look at this first slide, on the revenue side, the big difference is in food and beverage. We budgeted very conservatively. We didn't know how COVID would affect us. And fortunately, we did well in terms of serving homeowners, and we went over $1 million for the first time. The other big item was resale fees. As Cheryl mentioned, we had resales of 96 homes, which is 11%. Our historical average is 7%. So we collected a lot more in resale fees. Other than that, pretty much everything is pretty much in line. Other has a whole bunch of miscellaneous that 2,000 here, 3,000 here, and we don't budget those, but they did come in favorable, which is great. And lifestyle, because we had more events, collected more money. So that's how we did in terms of revenue. On the expense side, again, the big thing there, with more food and beverage revenue, you can expect more food and beverage costs. And that's what that top line is, 156,000 more. And we were open more than we thought we would be, so salaries and benefits were higher than we had planned. We had to keep up with the food and beverage volume, as well as wage escalation. The biggest item that I guess is the one that was most problematic was in administration. We spent a lot of money in legal. We usually budget about $25,000 a year. It came in about $81,000. Cheryl talked about a lot of things that were going on, and nothing gets completed without input from attorneys. So fortunately, we are past that for all of those items, but it did cost us a pretty penny. Other than that, contracts, numerous small increases and decreases. The decreases outnumbered the increases, which is great. But then we had repairs and maintenance to offset it. And striping was not budgeted. And actually, there was a late adjustment. That $33,000 should be $47,000. So that's the reason it went over there. But again, when you get to the bottom line, we made $24,000. So, you know, we aim for zero. It's not an exact science, but, you know, pretty damn close. Okay, now if we look at the how we did versus last year, obviously we raised assessments. They went up. Food and beverage, big increase. Of course, in 2020, we had a lengthy closure due to COVID. So it was a 63% increase, which is great. We're renting more boat slips, which is good to see. And in 2020, we also had a very strong home sales season, so resale fees were up from 2020, but they were both above normal. And then meeting the reserve targets, that was planned to be up, and we'll go through that separately. So that's where we were versus last year in revenue.